Good morning, grade sixes. Now this morning we are filming on a farm again, so you'll hear them harvesting there in the background, and you'll hear a guinea fowl going crazy there somewhere in the bushes, so enjoy those with me. That comes with the territory. I want you to find page 91 in your textbook. Pause the video and find page 91, please. Right, let's continue. On page 91, you'll see a couple of pictures there. They refer to very well-known fables that we know, like the one of the tortoise and the hare. Very old fables that we all grew up with. Now, they say something important about the fable, which is a very old kind of story on page 91. Read it with me, please. Follow in your books. Fables are stories that often give human qualities to animal characters. So like these guinea fowls here, they are the characters in a fable are animals, and they do things that humans would normally do, and they say things that humans would normally say. I continue reading. The stories are used to explain human nature and teach a lesson or moral. That's very important, people. A fable is there to teach us a lesson about our humanity, about being a human being. Please turn the page. On page 92, I want to go specifically to that block at the bottom of page 92. At number 2, they say, match the following animals with the stereotypical characteristics that they usually give in stories. Now, people, you will know these by now. If you find a lion let me read what they say in the block first. On the left-hand side, I'm still on page 92. The animals they talk about are lion, hare, fox, and mouse. Now, you can match those in your own time. We will know that the fox, you will surely know, is the characteristics that we associate with a fox in any story is the fox is always sly and tricky. He's the one with a trick up his sleeve, trying to outdo someone or get his will by tricking other people. And those are kind of animals that we typically find in one of these old stories. On page 93, under the heading Speak, it's in the middle of that page there. I want to quickly read that for you because that's important. That's the background of the specific fable we're going to talk about today. The Anansi stories. We've done an Anansi story early in the year as a comprehension test. And here's another Anansi story. The Anansi stories originated in West Africa. In the 1700s, many West African people were captured and taken to work as slaves in the Caribbean. Now, you know that lots of people in Africa were taken as slaves to America and other islands and everywhere in the world, actually, against their will. They didn't want to go there. They were taken by force and they became slaves in other parts of the world. I carry on reading. Please follow in the middle of page 93. They could take nothing with them on their dangerous journey across the sea, except for the stories they remembered. They had wonderful stories which they remembered and told their children. Let's continue. These stories were passed down from parents to children for many generations and were eventually written down. So we really are dealing with stories that mean a lot to many people, and it meant a lot to those people who were taken to other countries against their will, because it was part of their culture and they wanted their culture to at least survive. Please turn the page. Now, Anansi and the Moss-Covered Rock is a story that I'm going to read very quickly, otherwise it will take too long. Please follow in your own book on page 94. Anansi and the Moss-Covered Rock. Remember, Anansi is the spider. One day Anansi was walking through the forest when he saw a strange moss-covered rock. "How interesting," said Anansi. "Isn't this a strange moss-covered rock?" Suddenly, kaboom! Everything went black, and Anansi fell down fast asleep. When he woke up, Anansi wondered what had happened to him. "I was walking along," he reminded himself. "I saw this rock, and I said to myself, isn't this a strange moss-covered rock?" Kaboom! Anansi fell down again, and woke up about an hour later. "Aha! I know what's happening," said Anansi to himself. "This is a magic rock, and every time someone comes along and says the magic words, isn't this a strange down they go. I know just how to use magic like this." Now, the story continues, you can read it on your own, of how Anansi continues to take all these people, different animals, to the same place, to the same rock, and they say the same thing. All of them say, "This is a strange moss-covered rock," and they fall down and they don't know how it happened. Now, in the end, it ends with Anansi who see a little deer. At the bottom of page 95, "This," said Anansi, pointing at the rock. Can't you see it?" "I can't see anything," said little spotted deer. Top of page 96, "Surely you can see it," said Anansi, who was getting angry. "Look where I'm pointing." "There's nothing there." Anansi stomped his thin legs. "Of course you can see it, you just don't want to see it." "Say what? What am I supposed to say?" asked little spotted deer. Anansi shouted. "You're supposed to say, 'Isn't this a strange covered rock?'" Kaboom! Down fell Anansi. Little spotted deer ran to call all the animals, and they went straight to Anansi's house, where they took back all the food that he'd stolen from them. Now, if you read the story from beginning to end in much detail, you'll see how Anansi took different animals to this rock. When they said this magic line, he took their food from them. So at the end of the story, they took their food back. Now, please go back to page 93, and this is what I want you to learn for today, and I want you to remember. Page 93, number 2 at the bottom of the page. The Anansi stories describe a tiny, tricky little spider who overcomes great difficulties by using his wits. So we don't always like Anansi in the stories, but he survives. He's a survivor. Like these people who were taken to different parts of the world, who came from Africa, they were also survivors. Why do you think slaves would enjoy telling these stories? People, you can have a great conversation about this. If I was a slave, I would also enjoy a story where someone who had less power, didn't have any power like Anansi, would trick other people to get what he needed. Thank you, that's all for today.